drop off. Let's see this overlook. The Norfork overlook. Is that it right here? Oh yes, the Norfork River. The Ozarks are so beautiful. February 11th, 2026. Jacob Wolf House Historic Site. Trail of Tears, here it is. Okay, so how do we get here? Is this... I just pull in, I guess? Oh, wow. What is this? Okay, well, I don't know if we should go ahead and walk up there. Let's see what it is first. I don't know if this is like a... It's not gated off or anything. Let's go see what this building is over here. It's the Trail of Tears Historic Route. Territorial Courthouse, Wolf House Historic Site. Open. I think this is a free thing. Let's go in there. It says open, so let's check it out. It's so cool in here. Huh. Love these. All right, so this is all free. I could have just looked around. It's run by the state. That was the old courthouse. It was brought up from Calico Rock, where we're going next. And that is original. Of course, it's been a little restored. We're going to go look at this. Now, the cabin out here, there's a cabin. That's not so original. I don't know, it might just be a replica. Let's see. It's very nice. That's the White River. Look at the mirror. There's the railroad tracks. And look at this cool book. Free! I'm just surprised because I can see the brochures, but that's a really nice book. I love Arkansas. That's the Jacob Wolf House. Yeah, that's really nice. All right, we're going in. Oh, so it is original. 1832 John Wolf Cabin. They donated by Wyatt family. Wow. These cabins are really nice. Okay, John Wolf, born in Hopkins County, Kentucky in 1806. John Wolf moved to the upper White River Valley in 1820 with his immediate family, including older brother Jacob Wolf. John married Margaret Livingston in 1826, and they began building a family and home in the new territory. A Southern Baptist minister and missionary, partial mill owner with father-in-law Robert Livingston, and a homesteader in the White River Valley, John Wolf did it all. A highly religious man, John found his calling as a preacher and died of pneumonia. Oh, that's so sad. August 30th, 1863, at Crowley's Ridge, while serving as a chaplain in the Confederate Army. That's when he died, in 1863. The original cabin you're visiting, this is original, was constructed 1 mile downstream from Calico Rock in 1832. The family cabin was disassembled and moved upriver to the Jacob Wolf House Historic Site, which is where we're at now. This was in the 1990s by family members and a nonprofit group who sought to preserve and protect the Wolf family legacy. The cabin went through a complete restoration from 2019 to 2022. So this is original, but restored. Wow. Thank you, Arkansas. And thank you to everyone that helped restore this wonderful, beautiful cabin. So that's, could go upstairs. Look how thin those stairs are. That was the John Wolf cabin, the original, restored. All right, let's go check it out. Should have brought my selfie stick. Okay, so that's the John Wolf cabin. That's the Jacob Wolf cabin. John Wolf the younger brother of Jacob Wolf, established his cabin and homestead along the White River in 1831. White River over there. So that's cabin they moved from Calico Rock. The John Wolf cabin is representative of the common settler's lifestyle. The 1830 census showed 12 people, adults and children, resided in the small cabin. That cabin. 12 people in that cabin. John Wolf made his living through preaching, but all settlers engaged in hunting and farming to provide for their family. Women raised children and took care of the needs of the larger family, while children helped with chores. That's so cool. This is the original. Well, I'm thinking. So apparently this area was called Liberty City, from what I was told in the visitor center. And Jacob Wolf's oldest son was captain of the first steamboat to arrive in Liberty in 1831. Wow. Though convenient, boat travel on the White River was hazardous due to the rough riverbed shoals and currents that plagued all crafts year-round. The average life of a steamboat was just 4 years. So here's the Trail of Tears. So the trail went along the river, from what I was told. Inside, let's see. All right, here's the Territorial Courthouse. Now we're in Izard County, Liberty, Arkansas. Early political foundations in Territorial Arkansas were tumultuous at best. In 1819, the new territory was underpopulated and hosted an environment of vagabonds, outlaws, economic opportunists, land prospectors, and people looking for new beginnings. Was elected as Izard County's representative to the General Assembly of the Territory of Arkansas in 1826. He was instrumental in moving non-central Arkansas and the community of Liberty forward during his tenure. He ensured roads were built and waterways were navigated. After a long storied history of development, Territorial Arkansas became the 25th state of the Union in 1836. There's our well. Okay, so this is like the Casey house. This is the two-story dog-trot structure. Was constructed by Jacob Wolf in 1829 as the first permanent courthouse for Izard County in Arkansas Territory. The building served thousands of early settlers finding their way into the central highlands of North Arkansas. After the seat of justice moved in 1835, the structure reverted back to the ownership of the Wolf family until Jacob's death in 1863. The Wolf House was listed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1973. So this is very similar to the Casey House in Mountain Home, Arkansas, just down the road for the Baxter County. Wow, so this was just open. So this is the old courthouse and family home. Wow. Wow. The county clerk's office. It was documented as the county clerk's office because of the construction details. He formed the ceiling boards to a uniform width and added a decorative bead to the edge. To the ceiling joints. It's called dressing in the early 19th century. Wow. I guess that's what it means. See the little edge there? A post office called Izard Courthouse was established at Liberty, and Jacob Wolf served as postmaster. A post office of that time period would have been as simple as a desk in a corner. After the courthouse site was removed, Wolf changed the name of the post office to Norfork. And this knife was found as the broken knife. Wow. It smells so nice. Edge again. Oh, wow. The jury room. Look how low the chairs are. Seem a little low. Wow. Yeah. Be a little hard to kick that door in. So nice. That fireplace. Mr. Spider has himself, I don't know if you can see him, his dinner waiting. Wow, it's so nice. Let's see. The jury room. This room was probably the jury room. Most early courthouse specifications provided for a separate room where a jury could retreat to deliberate their decisions. When the court was not in session, this room would not have stood vacant. It probably served as a gathering room where meals were served, as indicated by the doorway that led to the backyard where the detached kitchen was located. So that was the backyard. People would have been coming regularly to visit the courthouse to record land transactions and other property deeds, pay taxes, and vote in elections. This also would have been coming to the post office, Wolf's blacksmith and carpentry shops, or his store. Wow. Look at this. Look at this. So the Dogtrot, so just like the one. So this is called the breezeway. So often called the Dogtrot. So because of this little area here. So Wolf family history relates that Jacob Wolf always kept a barrel of whiskey on the Dogtrot. Serving whiskey was prevalent in frontier settlements. Politicians used it to secure votes and merchants to attract businesses. Type of notch used. Yellow pine logs that were harvested from the surrounding hillsides. Half dovetail notch. Yeah, see that? Wow. Yeah, like the old boxes, like the dovetail. That's so cool. Go upstairs too. So those aren't original because you can't see the notches on them on those boards there. Oh, look at the peg. Okay, let's go upstairs. Ooh. Do not enter. Okay, so as far as the fireplace here, it says fireboxes on the upper level were handmade brick, and when stone chimneys replaced the brick chimneys in the late 19th century, the fireboxes were eliminated and boarded up. Now this is interesting here. Additional signs of interpreting the structure and its history. So, pit saw by hand. I just saw something downstairs like that. By the mill. And circular blades. So by hand, 1600s to 1750s. By mill, 1700s to 1860. And then circular blades, 1840 to present. That is interesting. And the wall was never closed in, even when it became a family home. And this was Jacob Wolf's bedroom. It was never closed in. This is the courtroom. Izard County courthouse in the early 1830s. Although no court sessions have been uncovered. We know who later served as state supreme, who served on the, David Walker, who served on the state Supreme Court, wore buckskin clothes and moccasins while he served as a lawyer in this courtroom. In the 1830s, that attire would have been considered quite typical. Like Daniel Boone. Originally warmed by the handmade brick fireplace that opened on the south wall, the shuttered window openings provided light and air circulation. Historic photographs show that these openings did not have window glass until the 20s or the 30s. that old truck. So when this court was in session, this room would have been packed with men. Women were probably restricted unless they were involved in a case before the court. At night, when the court had adjourned for the day, men would have spread hides or blanket rolls on the floor and slept here for the night. When you walk across the original floorboards, you are stepping where thousands of frontier Arkansans trod. Original floorboards. Wow. Original. Saying built to last. So no glass windows. Original. See, that fireplace would have been there. Very nice. Okay, so those metal rods were added to prevent future outward thrust of the walls, which has occurred over time. Now, it also says, looking up to the roof, you will see the rafters that are pegged at their union. And all rafters are original. The shingles are attached to the wide saw boards, which have bark remaining on each side. They were saved by conscientious caretakers of the past. No original shingles remain, but they were probably made of white oak, which was the folk. So up here at the top, you're going to be able to see it. They're pegged at the union. See that? Oh yeah, you can see it. The peg, that's called a fetch. They're called fetches. Original. Wow. Impressive. so cool. Is that window open too? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can see it kind of, I don't know if you can see it on the video, but it is a little crooked there. See it kind of. The White River. Here, see the cuts. Yeah, see there? Oh, look at that old brass knob. And that little keyhole. Oh, big keyhole. Wow, that's so cool. Look at the lock on that. All right, that's the John Wolf and Jacob Wolf. The log cabins. Dogtrot is what they call it. Dogtrot. Let's see. Very nice. February 11th, 2026.